Hi, I'm Owen.
And I'm Rachel.
Welcome back and thanks again for tuning in for another episode of No Clients Were Harmed. If you're new here, myself and Rachel are psychotherapists who take our jobs very seriously, but ourselves not at all. We will be talking about the messy, funny, frustrating side of therapy. It's going to be mental health, but let's not get dramatic.
If you are enjoying listening to our conversations, we would love to hear from you with your comments or questions. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and the No Clients Were Harmed website. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us wherever you're listening. And please do share it with someone who would enjoy listening to us and maybe could do with a bit of a crash course in therapy.
We all have a friend that could do with a crash course in therapy, let's be honest.
We definitely do.
Heads up, everyone!
This isn't actually the end. Don't get fooled by our dramatic goodbyes.
Before we truly sign off for this season, there is one more episode coming up next week, the Christmas one.
It's giving therapy meets mince pies.
I'm really looking forward to it, Rachel.
I know you are. Think cozy vibes, nostalgia, and a touch of holiday chaos with some very questionable family moments.
Yes, we saved the weirdest one for last.
See you all next week.
Today we are looking at endings, how they affect us and what we might be confronted with. And maybe why sometimes we're left singing, I want to break free. Did you like that one?
To break free. I'm out of here. Good luck. See you later. Yeah. So what's in the room with us for this episode has to be the therapeutic process of ending with your therapist. We'll speak about why the ending sessions can be some of the most valuable, what might be addressed, and how affecting they can be for therapists as well as clients. Like, we feel it too, guys.
Then move into our It's Giving section, and today it's giving leftovers. So what we're left with at the end of something, and that search for closure, that golden word closure that we all look for, and how those rose-tinted glasses can quickly go back on with a bit of distance, and how to prepare for that.
Finally, we will go into Spill the Tea, and today we'll be meeting Jack, who is planning to propose. He deeply loves his partner, bless him, and is looking forward to married life, but there is a part of him looking back wistfully at the freedom and simplicity of single life.
It is so simple. It's so true. As usual, we've loads to get through, so we better get started.
So, what's in the room? I was reading something the other day that spoke of people's less than positive experience of therapy. And it was one of those kind of lists of 10 things that are problematic within a therapeutic relationship. And the author of the article had something happen, had a number of things happen within the therapeutic relationship that she wasn't best pleased of. And one of the things was that when she actually tried to finish with the therapist and say, look, this isn't working for me, the therapist reflected back to them, well, you need to come in more so that you can understand that you're worth the money. So really kind of, so the client was worth the investment and completely avoided the fact that the therapist wasn't providing value for money in the sessions.
Okay.
So they needed more therapy to appreciate that the client was worth the investment in themselves. One of the things that I'm very conscious of because of an experience that I had myself personally is the power that we hold as therapists in the room.
Yeah.
We don't need to ever be wrong. We can always argue or suggest, well, that's because that's in your unconscious. Well, my experience tells me you're just
that's
not ready
to
see this. This is your stuff, whatever it is. And that's why it's so important for therapists to have done the work on themselves so that we can be non-defensive and open and
know what we bring in.
Like when our stuff is coming into the room. Absolutely. So therapy that you don't find effective, helpful, or might be distressing to you should not continue. If every week you're going in and you're not feeling heard or you're feeling dismissed, you're coming out distressed, then that's not productive for you.
No. And I think that's a really good question even at the beginning of the therapeutic process. It's like, what have you been to therapy before? First of all, how was it? What worked and what didn't work? Because if you've been, and some people have been to a couple of different therapists, I've been to a few different therapists, and what you feel is effective for you might be totally different for your friends. You might get recommended someone, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for you the way it worked for your friend.
Absolutely. A good therapist, an effective therapist, they might work better with some populations, but I'm conscious of should, right? We should shed the shoulds, get rid of the shoulds.
Shed the should. You did say should a minute ago, I think.
The shoulds. Okay, God damn it. It's early already. That an effective therapist alters their treatment or how they meet the client based on what the client needs. So being able to be soft and compassionate and very, very gentle and encouraging, and sometimes being a bit more assertive and boundaried and guarded and actually
Direct.
I don't believe what you're saying to me right now.
Yeah.
And that's very confronting for some clients, but for other clients it's like, oh, actually this person's going to call me out. I'm done testing them now.
Yeah, it's exactly what they need. For some people, I think they have the idea, I've heard this a lot, that, I don't want a therapist to just say, oh, that's really sad, that's really terrible, or I'm sorry. Some people do need it more direct. I think I said that when I first went into therapy. I was like, I need someone to be direct. Someone needs to call me out on my shit because shit's going wrong and I need to be pulled up on it. That very gentle approach would not have worked for me. I would have run away. I would have been like, oh, fuck off.
Sure. Okay. So effective therapy is designed to have an endpoint.
Yeah.
It is this open-ended thing in that that's the way I work anyway. So that's what we'll do. But at some point, the client hopefully will feel empowered and resourced enough to be able to reflect and make links and reassure themselves and regulate their emotions and have that awareness and be able to kind of meet their own anxiety or anger or whatever it is and self-soothe and move on from there. Some people look at therapy as a crutch, and I'm a little bit uncomfortable with that, but also if you've got a broken leg, you need a crutch until you're strong enough to walk again. So I think
broke my leg running away.
Right. Okay. I think in crisis, if somebody comes in and they're in crisis, they might need a crutch. And then after that, it's like a bit of a kind of guide and like, let's see how, first of all, let's find a path that you want to go on out of all of these choices. And let's walk down it a little bit and see what it's like. So it's somebody with you, but they're not holding you up.
I think it was Simon Sinek that had said, nobody's asking you to pull them out of the mud when they're going through something. They're asking you to sit in it with them. And that's so much more effective than I think it sounds.
Yeah. So the ending process, once the decision to begin the ending process has been agreed, what do we look for in that process? What is the ending and why do we do it?
Like clients coming in, and particularly clients that are actively doing the work in between sessions, they will come in and reflect back, this was a difficult situation I had this week and I found myself regulating in X, Y, and Z way, and I found myself thinking about it in a different way. And that happens over time, obviously, but I can see clients being very aware of the fact that like they are managing all of this outside of the therapy room, and it doesn't necessarily feel soul crushing when something it happens now. It's not necessarily shutting down their whole world. So them coming in saying, I was able to do this and I set my boundary in this way. And that's kind of where, for me anyway, as a therapist, I kind of say, you are doing this on your own and you are doing it so well. And you know that, and they'll say that to you, that I managed this really well. I felt really good about the way I navigated that conflict or, rupture in a relationship. That for me is like a sign that the end is in sight.
Yeah. But that in itself can be a confronting thing for clients to hear. And like sometimes I'll have clients that'll work with me for 5 or 6 sessions, go, this is brilliant, thanks very much, I'm done. And I'm looking at them going like, it's been nice to meet you. Can we because there is a bit of a therapy bounce like that. It does feel good, but it's the start of the work.
Yeah.
And then at the other end of things, it can be surprising for clients. We get used to, it's Thursday at 12 o'clock, that's my appointment, and that's what I do. And we can get really bloody comfortable in that as well. So when a therapist says, actually, you've been doing really well, and you have been managing everything that comes up, and how would you feel about looking at ending? That can throw people back. and bring up those old feelings of rejection and abandonment and what you mean I'm not good enough to be here.
Yeah.
And that does take time to process. And if I'm bringing it in with a client, I will always do my best to flag it as far out as possible that we have a conversation about the possibility of ending and what would that look like and how do they feel about it.
Yeah, I think it's weird. Even as you say that, I'm like, oh, as a client, I think there's a part of me that would kind of go, why?
Yeah.
Why though? But as a therapist, it makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. And like for a therapist, if a client comes in and tells me I want to end, there is a part of me that goes, whoa, what, am I not good enough? Like, why are you abandoning me?
Definitely. What did I do?
Because it does, like, we are very much in deep, emotionally intimate relationships with our clients. And there is that conflict of, I'm so happy for you. That's brilliant. But I'm going to miss you.
Yeah.
Like, I've enjoyed working with you. It's a really difficult part of therapy that we very rarely get to hear the end of the story.
Yeah, that's so true.
We get to the point where I'm happy, the relationship's working well, the new job is all right, I feel like I'm in a really good place, bye. And like, I would selfishly really like a postcard kind of 10 years later.
Give me something. Give me something.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about me. It is the ending of an emotionally structured, boundaried, but emotionally intimate relationship. And, I can tear up in sessions where it's like, okay, this is it. And I will always, 90% of the time, offer a hug going out the door. And it's the only time that I'll offer physical touch or physical contact in a room because, well, for obvious reasons. Hopefully, if your therapist is touching you during a session, probably find a different therapist. Unless it's a somatic body work or something, then okay. Or I can imagine, the client starts crying and the therapist goes over and pats him on the head and, oh, you poor thing. Now, there are circumstances where, there's always exceptions, I suppose.
Yeah.
So what do we do in an ending? How do you manage endings in therapy?
A lot of the time I have a look at our first ever session. So we say like the intake. And what was their intention coming in? Have they navigated those things? Or have those things been explored in a way that feels meaningful for them and that they can now say, yeah, I actually feel that I can manage my anxiety, or I feel that conflict isn't as difficult for me anymore. It's just, how do you now manage them in comparison to when you first came in? And now how do you feel about it? How are you speaking to yourself? If it was something that you really struggled with, is your inner critic quieter? And how does that affect your relationships? It's kind of, I think when I worked for you, Owen, you had said something like the gloves are off in the last session.
Yeah.
Which I found really interesting. For me, it's a little bit different with my experience of endings because I was in a residential rehab working and there was a very definite ending to those relationships. It wasn't something that can continue for months and years. And so the ending was very, very much expected. So it was a different experience there. And that in itself is a strange thing, knowing that you only have a certain amount of sessions with someone, certain amount of time, and they have to go. Going back to the very beginning of what were your goals, what was your intention, and how did you experience our sessions? Please tell me what I've done wrong, and what I've done right. But give me some feedback, what worked and what didn't work.
Yeah. With my intake form, I have two questions. One is past to present, and then the next is looking to the future. So what has brought you into therapy? And what have you been experiencing that has resulted in you going, I need to make an appointment?
Yeah.
And then your goals for therapy, when you imagine yourself leaving therapy, what's different about you then? In the very last session, I will bring out that form and it kind of connects the client back to what life was like for them when they came in the door and provides that contrast to what life is like for them now. And it can be very impactful for me to kind of witness the client's reaction as they're going, Oh yeah, yeah, we did
Yeah, the
that, and
cogs
like
are
that's
turning. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. For me, that's the most important aspect of the ending. It's really kind of formalizing. This is the work that you've done. This is
Yeah.
what you've achieved. This is what you're capable of, and we're reminding them of the things that were important. The skills that they used, the tools that they picked up, and what's at their disposal now going into their therapy-free life.
Yeah, I think it's such a good way of doing it as well, because sometimes we can get wrapped up in the moment and be like, oh, of course that didn't bother me. Of course I dealt with that in a really good way. Or, you know, I don't mind conflict now. But actually being sat down for that last session and having a full comparison, it's like, actually see yourself from the beginning of this to now, and the amount of work that it did take. It can become very normalized, our way of dealing with things in the moment. But actually, if we look back, it's like, shit, I used to really struggle with that, and I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking for the feedback from the client as well. And any feedback, even if it is negative feedback, is really, really useful for us as therapists, that we can incorporate that
Definitely.
and learn from it. You know, and even if it is, Jesus, Owen, you were a lot at the start and I was freaked out and I didn't know what therapy was like. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, this is my comfort zone and I forget that. And I
that's so true.
can be a bit more gentle at the start, or a bit more understanding. As therapists, we need to do our best to be kind of cognizant of that.
Yeah.
We need to move on to it's giving leftovers. As this is episode 6, I can't believe we've gotten here from this little trial that we agreed. There was nothing else that we could talk about today apart from endings. So we're going to leave a few minutes of this section, and it will have to be just a few minutes of this section to speak about what we are left with at the end of this process. Honestly, it's not really all about us or a completely narcissistic ego drama, maybe slightly, but we will be doing it at least partly to briefly model the process. I think with endings, more generally, there's a change, there's a transition. The normal life that we've had, or what has become a normal life for us, is changing into something else. With every ending, there is a beginning. And there is that kind of looking back and how things used to be, how things were, and how we imagine it's going to be in the future. And kind of avoiding leftovers, whether it's resentment, anger, romanticizing unfinished business, whatever that looks like, you know, that can be.
I'm smiling so much right now.
I've left my job, and that person that I always fancied, I never actually did get to do anything there. And if only I had, that would have been the best relationship I've ever been in. And actually, it wouldn't have.
No, the idea of it always,
Yeah, we can look back and go, if only. And I think that's part of those closure conversations that we've referenced before. Like people go back because they've romanticized it and they want to make sense of it.
Yeah, the idea that it's going to give you so much peace is so held on to. The idea that like somebody else being able to close that door and close that chapter for you and soothe something inside for you is, you know, when you break up with someone, and a lot of people do just go back, and, you know, you do kind of say, there is that idea of, oh, maybe something might happen, or maybe I just need this to close my own chapter, and I need this just to have that closure. I need that conversation. It's like, actually, probably not. Probably going to make it worse for you at times.
Yeah. And it depends on the narrative that we tell ourselves. If we tell ourselves that I need this closure conversation and I'm not going to be able to be at peace without it, that doubles it down. That makes it the reality.
It's so haunting as well.
Exactly. Like, that's such a good word. Like, we're haunted by our past unless we make peace of it.
It's so haunting. It's even after time goes by. It's like, I wonder if that did happen though, and I did have that apology or that conversation, would I have felt better quicker? Would it have been easier? Would I not have all these issues? And it's like, no, you probably would. You probably would still be thinking the same things you're thinking right now.
Like, it's very easy to imagine the path that we didn't travel and how that would work out, and that's all rosy and that would have been so much better. But we don't know the problems or the other choices we would have been presented at along that path and where they might have led. I suppose closure for me is, it means making peace with something. Like, that's okay now, I can let that down.
Accepting it.
accepting it. Like,
Yeah.
whether that's with the other person as part of a conversation or just with ourselves. And sometimes, like, that conversation is, I'll meet you for a cup of coffee. We go have a cup of coffee and, oh my God, you're still boring and you're still going on about those bloody things. I'd forgotten. Whew, this is just exactly what I needed. Thanks very much.
Yeah,
Free
thank
at
fuck.
last. Free
Yeah.
at last.
I have
Break
broken
free.
free.
Yeah. The other thing with endings, just to kind of mention very quickly, the idea of endings and as new beginnings. I know that does sound kind of very therapist-y, but I mean it in a kind of very practical sense. Put it into a relationship context. If somebody is involved in a situationship and they know that it's not going to go on for too long, they're not interested in the person, the sex is grand, everything's grand, it means they're not lonely, you know, we'll hold on to that until something else better comes along. It also, you're not creating space in your life for that new person to walk into. And that's what I mean by kind of ending as a new beginning. Like, ending is letting go of something and getting yourself ready for whatever is next, or deciding what do you want next, you know, and if opportunity knocks on the door, that you're able to go, oh, come on in, I've got space for you. That's brilliant.
I'm in a position to allow that into my life, or to welcome that into my life, instead of what you said about that kind of surface level filling a void, temporary stuff.
So with us then, Rachel, you and I, in this podcast, season 1, episode 6, what are you left with?
You're not going to like this answer, you know.
Great.
You're not going to like this answer.
Yeah.
I actually am left with a lot of gratitude because of where our relationship has got to and how it's evolved, even in this podcast. For me, having these conversations, I'm left with like a lot of gratitude for where our relationship is now and how I feel in this dynamic, because it's very different to a couple of years ago when I first started. Like, I was a student and now I'm fully qualified, and working with you in a very different way has been interesting, and you've pissed me off sometimes, but I am still grateful for the experience. But that's probably the overriding feeling. But yeah, you've annoyed me sometimes.
How have I annoyed you?
Sometimes you have an idea in your head and you really want it to turn out a certain way, and then I'm probably a bit of fucking chaos. That's probably a bit of it, because you're incredibly passionate about this podcast, and so am I. But I think sometimes I was in my head a lot of the time being like, shit, am I doing it right? Even though there's no right way, and you said that repeatedly, but that pissed me off sometimes. Yeah,
well, sometimes it is going to piss you off when you're confronted with the truth, Rachel, because I'm a therapist and I can
so
never
annoying.
Right? So, you're in denial, and it's
all
in
my
your
stuff.
unconscious. Right? I do actually hear what you're saying, and it is nice to know that I pissed you off, because, like, kind of looking back on things, there was an idea in kind of episode 1 of what we would want to go into the podcast, and we've kind of hit half the brief, I think. But for 6 episodes, there wasn't a lot that we could do, and I could hear us at the start, and like part of it is a little bit scripted, and we're nervous, and we're kind of holding a lot of it. And I think it has become much more natural as we've gone along. To hear you mention chaos, though, I think there's more chaos in your head than the chaos
there is, definitely,
that you've brought to the podcast. And I would have loved to have heard that kind of confrontation, like for you calling me out on my bullshit, say, oh, and you're talking shit. So, like, a little bit more of that for season 2.
What are you left with?
I suppose a little bit of that, but there is, like, listening back, there was a couple of things where there were elements within the podcast where it was 2 therapists talking to one another, and there might be a little bit of kind of explanation needed. There was a couple of things, like I think we mentioned breadcrumbing as well, and we presumed that everybody knew what that was, but we didn't explain it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Or no, it was breadcrumbing and hoovering, and kind of.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they go hand in hand. Like, breadcrumbing is that kind of, you know, leaving down these little things, those little compliments, something for you to hold on to and grab onto. Oh, he's still interested. Oh, she loves me. You know, whatever it is. Hoovering then is after the relationship has ended, not being given space. or somebody kind of coming back in and, oh, I was thinking about this and do you remember that time? And
Sprinkle.
sprinkle. And as soon as you get within the radius of that again, you're hoovered back up into the relationship before you even know what's happened.
Yeah.
Last thing that I want to clear up is I know that we kind of went heavy in the first couple of episodes of being our Irish psychotherapists and what that meant for us. And in fairness, we went heavy into the cultural identity of being Irish. And then I fucked it up.
Yeah, you did.
I fucked it up. I made references to edible products within the podcast, and this shows my naivety and that I'm not used to being within this medium. And as an Irish person, the only examples that should have been on my brain were potatoes and Supermax. And I am deeply ashamed that potatoes and Supermax didn't get the mention that they so richly deserved within our Irish culture and our Irish podcast.
Oh my God, you're getting so stressed. Take a breath.
I've been carrying that for so long.
Thank you for sharing that with me and all of us, Owen.
All right.
We're so grateful.
For future work, what would that look like for you?
To be honest, more communication on my side about your bullshit throughout the podcast. I think I want to be a little bit more. I think I want to be a little bit more myself, more chaos outside my head and into the microphone, and bringing the more of the type of work that I see a lot, but obviously in a light way.
And looking forward to bring more characters in with those case studies. I think people have gotten a bit of a laugh from that. We've had very good feedback about it.
People love flow. Yeah.
Thank you. So we'll end endings and we're going to go into our
case study.
So, dear Nutlines Were Harmed, I'm Jack, 31, madly in love. I've been with my partner for the last 3 years and honestly, I've never thought that I would meet anyone like them. This is the most honest, supportive relationship that I ever thought that I would find myself in. I almost gave up there for a while. I found it difficult to imagine that I would find my one. Other relationships, and there haven't been loads, have been testing to say the least. I've felt myself judged and controlled or been communicating with a passive-aggressive defensive partner that has made me physically intuit what the hell their problem is. This is different. They tell me when they're upset, don't make me responsible for their emotions, and actually respect my boundaries without a childish tantrum. I mean, this is the gold standard.
Yeah, I'm just smiling. I'm so silent. Yeah.
This has been my longest relationship and I couldn't ask for much more. No, you couldn't. I mean, that's a full basket there, buddy. I've been considering proposing, but I have this niggling resistance and I really don't know what my major malfunction is. I thought that I would be feeling the butterflies, nervous about what lies ahead, but with an overriding feeling of excitement. This feels different. It's almost too good. And yes, I know how that sounds. It's like I can actually imagine the rest of my life with this person and it's all laid out in front of me. There, if I want to grab it, but still something gives me pause. The more I try to ignore the feeling, the stronger it gets. I have spent a lot of time single between those rare relationships, and looking back, those days seem exciting and passionate. I was energized by the uncertainty. If I didn't like a situation, I could just leave it. Didn't find your messages amusing? Bye-bye.
See ya. Yeah.
Thought you were rude to the waiter? Ghosted. I might have been a bit ruthless, but I was free to do what I liked. I was clear that there was no commitment, and now I'm thinking of proposing. What the hell has happened? I thought I had changed. I wanted to have changed. I don't understand why this pull to my old life is so strong. Any thoughts? Gentleman Jack.
Gentleman Jack. Gentleman Jack. Gentleman. Oh, bless him. Oh, I'm happy for him though. That honestly, the overriding feeling I'm feeling is like excitement for him. I love this case study. Well, oh, and you know I'm a hopeless romantic, so
Yep.
I love this. I think at the end when he says, like, I want to have changed, bless him. It's not that he hasn't changed. It's like, what did you say before? It's like, I'm interested in your past so far as, like, it informs what's happening right now. Just because he's romanticizing kind of his old non-commitment life doesn't mean he hasn't changed. His current relationship seems so healthy and lovely, and he seems so happy if he's considering proposing. I think that's really hard about, like, it sounds like he obviously has to let go of the bye-bye, the see ya, the ghosting.
He's maturing.
Yeah, he's maturing. Bless him.
Bless him. I'm so happy that you're kind of jumping into the middle of things and you're kind of really passionate about this. What we were talking about in endings, and I did forget to mention, when you get involved in something and let yourself go, that's where you are. And when you wanted to name this character Jack, I was a bit suspicious because, like, we've used Jack twice already in the podcast. So this is third time lucky for Jack. Like, we've got a Jack that's out in Ibiza. We've got Hit the Road Jack, and now we've got another Jack. So, like, there is a part of me that's a bit suspicious that you're getting so passionate about it, but let's use it for the podcast. What's coming up for you with Jack, Rachel?
I just think he is a little petal. Like, I think he is obviously looking at his current relationship. It's so different to how he was before. Having to let go of single life is fucking hard. It is a loss of kind of what he's describing, the way he was. And sometimes it can feel really empowering. And, you know, like, sometimes it can be like a level of control when you're single that, you know, I have the choice to do whatever I want. Like he says, like, I can be whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. And
but it sounds like you can really get where Jack is coming from in that. Like, you can really relate to his process there. Yeah.
And there is a process of letting go of what that life and what you are like and I was like in that period of time. And there is that kind of space, I suppose, when you're single to set the boundaries and decide what boundaries feel comfortable for you and have almost this idea of what you want to be treated like, or what relationship, or if you want a relationship in the future. There's so much freedom in that period of time.
Yep.
The only person you're committed to then is you.
Yeah, like, I really admire Jack when he kind of says that, like, everybody was clear on the boundary.
Yeah.
When he was dating. He wasn't leading anybody on. And the ghosting we can do without that, Jack. Sorry, but, like, you know, just send a text saying I'm not interested. It doesn't cost that much.
No.
But I can understand that everybody's aware of the situation. They know the boundaries. They're having a good time. That's great. And there isn't a commitment. Like, so if he's not feeling it, he's not feeling it.
Yeah.
And that's fair enough. But I think that he's kind of looking back and romanticizing it. And oh, it was so good to be single. But, like, actually, how were those dates?
Yeah.
And getting ready for the date? And did everybody that was supposed to be on the dates, did they all show up? Were they all exactly as they described themselves to be? How many boring conversations did you have to sit through? Like,
how many times did you have to tell someone how many siblings you had, or what job you had, and what you do? And, like, how many of the same conversations did you have to have over and over and over again to only at the end of it be like,
that's a lot of overs, Rachel.
I know.
Okay. Okay.
I'm passionate about this, Owen.
Yeah.
But it sounds like, I think the ending that I'm envisioning for Jack in this is his relationship with himself in his past. That makes sense?
Yeah. So what you're saying is the ending is, like, kind of saying goodbye to single Jack.
Yeah.
And hello to committed Jack. And that different phase of life that he might be entering into. And he's feeling the weight of that.
Yeah, and, like, the resistance to accepting that this is his current reality and he won't be going back, hopefully for him, won't be going back to that
and
single life. Yeah, well, sorry, I forgot about her. Her name wasn't mentioned, so.
Yeah, and it wasn't mentioned that she was a she either.
Their name wasn't mentioned. So I think it's an interesting case study to have. It's not necessarily about the ending with anyone else. It's an ending internally for him and his relationship to himself and the way he was in single life.
Yeah. And kind of looking forward, when he names that he can envision this life, that it's there for him, he just wants to grab it. And there's something holding him back. There's something about the certainty.
Yeah.
And maybe a projected kind of boredom of like, oh, well, I know every turn my life is going to take from now on because I'm going to be married.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true. Because like even that word committed. And he said like my major malfunction is, as if it's a really bad thing to have multiple emotions about something. You can be excited and also scared.
Yeah. I can relate to this because this huge thing, he's going to propose. Your generation, it can be this big thing about, will you be my girlfriend? Like, I mean,
It can be. It is this big thing. Yeah.
But I mean, come on, isn't that ridiculous? Like, will you be my girlfriend? Like, just
what, communicating? Not really.
Not communicating, but making it this life-changing thing. Like, oh my God, now we're in this committed relationship. Like, how many other people have you been sleeping with for the last 3 months? Like, come on.
Everyone has a past. What's wrong with adding a little bit of a sprinkle excitement, extra question into your life?
A sprinkle excitement, extra question.
Yeah.
Don't know what that means. I mean, I'm sorry. Let me get out my Gen Z thesaurus / dictionary and look up all of those words and see what was that a sentence.
No, I just think it's a lovely little extra step along the way to clarify things, because and between apps and meeting people in person and dating events, and it's like you could be dating. I'm not saying I have. You could be dating 5 people at one time.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, back to Jack.
Yeah. Yeah. What's he asking for in this? Like, just any thoughts?
But I suppose he's trying to understand why his pull to his own life is so strong.
This has come up for us before in previous episodes where we've kind of spoken about the process of therapy and listening to people intently and the process of the client in hearing themselves speak.
Yeah.
And them giving us the answer on a plate without realizing they've given us the answer on a plate. And I think that he's done that.
Yeah.
There's nothing, like, there is no problem here.
No, there's nothing wrong. He's just told us he's fundamentally happy in the relationship he's currently in.
Yeah.
But like everyone, he has feelings and he's nervous or he's fearful or he's maybe sad. Sometimes for people as, well, am I questioning things then? Or am I going backwards? Or have I made no growth? Or do I not want this?
Yeah. And there's one line in it that for me is the key to the whole thing. The more I try to ignore the feeling, the stronger it gets.
Yeah.
There is nothing unusual. There's nothing traumatic. There's nothing pathological. There's nothing wrong with how he's feeling. But the more he runs away from it, the more power it gets.
Yeah.
If he sits with it and is able to kind of go, well, yeah, this is a change. So there's going to be a bit of nerves there.
Yeah.
But he's been with this person for 3 years, longest relationship that he's ever had. He's done all of the research.
Yeah.
And the way he describes the relationship, the way he describes his partner, they really are almost up on a pedestal. I hope they're not, because that takes away their humanity. Like, they brush their teeth just like everybody else.
Yeah. We hope.
Yeah. So trusting himself in it, they are supportive.
Yeah.
They're listening to him. It sounds like that he doesn't feel himself to be judged or controlled.
No, it sounds like he feels safe. And sometimes that can feel boring.
Yes. And sometimes it can feel threatening.
Yeah.
And it sounds like sometimes when we're faced with something different, it holds up a mirror to what we used to have. And in finding himself in a supportive, safe relationship, it's bringing up those other relationships that he used to be in.
Yeah.
And that is normal and emotionally it makes sense. The biggest resource in this is he can talk to his partner about it.
Yeah.
And based on what he's told us about the relationship, the partner might actually go, oh yeah, I totally get it. Like, this is a bit weird and like, wow, we're engaged. What does that mean? We're boyfriend and girlfriend. What does that mean?
It could be nice as well for him to hear his partner's blueprint for communication. What are they bringing into it as well? That can be a really open and reassuring conversation.
Yeah, and just on the risk that Jack is pedestalizing his partner, to be able to encourage the partner to maybe show a bit of vulnerability if
Yeah.
they haven't. Show their humanity, show what they're worried about or what's going on, so that they can kind of meet in the middle and normalize what's happening. Because again, I do not see any issue with Jack and this letter.
No.
The ending as a new beginning, he's leaving something behind.
Yeah.
He is projecting this stable and safe and secure and known future for himself. And buddy, I've got a surprise for you. Whether you're married or not, you're not going to know what life is going to throw at you.
Yeah.
And it can be very exciting to have a partner with you on that journey, whatever that journey looks like.
Yeah.
Just so you could turn around to go to each other and go, what the fuck is happening today?
Even what you've just described sounds so much more like a team. You know, he said in a couple of different lines here, it's almost as if he feels just it's only him and he is the problem. And why is this happening to him? And he wants to have changed. Like, if you can actually speak to your partner about that and you can recognize that both of you are just two very, very normal human beings. It's like, actually, we can do this together because we both bring our own stuff into this. And it's not just him on his own feeling, shit, I'm questioning myself.
Yeah. And he's up in his head about it.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Even though he's avoiding the feeling, he's thinking about the feeling and thinking like he has a load of shoulds. I shouldn't be feeling this. What's wrong with me? I'm not grateful. I'm not blah, 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 whatever the script is. He's still the same person, but he has matured and evolved. But he's not a completely different Jack to who he used to be in his single life.
Yeah.
He's just found somebody that he feels very comfortable with.
Yeah, and he's in a new phase of his life. And that can feel really strange looking at like where your life is now, but carrying so many versions of ourselves with it.
Yeah. A personal question. In relationship, are you somebody who might see a benefit in talking to their partner about their previous relationships, or is that book completely closed, never to be opened again?
Honestly, I think it's really important to speak about it because it's good information. I want to know like what worked, what didn't work, what came up for you, what wounds might you still be carrying, and how do you think these affect you? I do think it's really important to speak about those things.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what it's like to date a therapist.
Yeah. It really is. Yes, you can make new experiences and, teach your nervous system new things and like accept what is in front of you. But I just think it's really important for you to be able to share that and to feel safe in sharing that if you're carrying something with you into a relationship. Yeah.
And like context and how and why it's shared, like what's the intention behind it. I think that's everything. What you're describing there is like having the awareness to link reactions and share your context with your partner.
Yes.
This isn't about you, but this is because whatever I'm bringing in. For Jack, they've had 3 years or however long it is, and this is the best relationship that he's ever had. So he's already been through, or he should already have been through the process of, well, my ex used to do it this way. That comparison that naturally happens but can be damaging.
Yeah.
If we're ready to begin, if we've let it go, we can allow the new person in our life to be a new person in our life and not a reflection of our exes.
I think it's a nice way to put it, because if you can find someone and the time and space, and as you said, like the intention behind it, to start pulling apart all the threads, it's not that you're asking somebody else to kind of heal your trauma, but it is finding someone for you that you feel safe enough with to work on those things for yourself. To like pull those things apart and say, this is not about you, but it is my reaction is informed by X, Y, and Z. Can you say that to someone and feel safe in that? Yeah, and feel safe in that. It sounds like Jack would be able to. Yeah, it does. If he feels safe in this relationship, then he ought to feel safe in naming this within the relationship. Yeah. Like for there to be the joy and the excitement of the proposal that is there, but there's also something else. Yeah. Having going through with the proposal, and because ultimately, I think kind of very clearly in this letter, that's what he wants to do. Yeah, I know. That's wow. Okay. That's what he wants to do. And
when he does that and he sees his partner's reaction, that excitement will build between them, like that co-created space.
And trust.
It moves then from looking back at the past and what I'm letting go of and into the future of, oh my God, this is what we could build together. It can be, let's fucking get excited about the path that's in front of us, and let's enjoy it, and let's be a team, you know?
And not just the path that's in front of us, but also sit in what's happening right now. You know, like the reality of that exciting time and relationship.
Yeah.
This is a great case study. We need more hopeless romantic ones, Owen.
There is a bit of me that wants to keep talking about Jack because I don't want it to be the end.
Oh.
And it's coming to the end of this season.
Yeah.
Tune in next week for bonus Christmas episode. But what we had agreed was a bit of a kind of proof of concept. Like, could we do it? Would it work? Would we enjoy it? And I think where we go to now is, okay, it has worked. We have done it. We have enjoyed it reasonably well. There's a bit of things to be worked out, but like, do we have an audience for it?
Yeah.
Do you guys want us to come back? Do you think that we are good enough for you or add value? Like, would we become part of your podcast listening rotation? Are you curious about what we might bring in the second season if it's there? So like today, it's the ending of season 1. It has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it has.
And I want to thank our listeners. Our audience has been growing. So hello to everybody that has joined us. Thank you for tuning in.
And for the feedback. There's been such lovely feedback as well.
Yeah. We would really appreciate feedback onto the platforms, because it would be encouraging for the rest of our audience if you could pop up something on one of the sites. And
it's helpful to push it.
With this podcast, the more you engage with it, the therapy becomes a conversation. And like, disagree with us, that's fine. What is your point? Where are you coming from? And I think that there can be a bit of a nervousness. Therapy channels, podcasts, Instagram accounts, mental health accounts notoriously get very little engagement because people are afraid or nervous about putting up something that's personal to them, or sharing themselves, or being in that vulnerable space online, you know, and online can be risky.
Yeah.
So if you're leaving a comment, like, we could just make it a thing that my friend once told me, you know, my friend thinks this podcast is good, you know.
Or like the asking for a friend.
Exactly, asking for a friend. So depersonalize it, but please do find ways of engaging.
If there's something that resonated, like, and it reminds you of someone, or you think that someone might get something from it, please do send it to them, share it with them, engage with the process of our podcast.
And thank you to Evie
Yes.
for the production and for the editing. And thank you to you, Rachel. It has been very good working with you within this forum. And like I've always said it to you, really nice in hearing your voice. And that professional therapist that's there that holds the humor and the insight of the girl that you are. And I'm even gonna call you a girl.
Thank you.
Just between us for today.
Yeah, but I have and I have really loved working with you, even though you are such an old man and you're so wise and you do ramble. I have loved working with you. I'll miss you, Owen, for example.
Oh.
Yeah. No, but seriously, I think.
Wait, you won't miss me?
No. I'm going to probably talk to you every day again.
Brilliant. All right. It has been great. And
yeah, it has.
I hope that you guys have laughed half as much as we have.
Even if it is at us and not with us.
As usual, and as always, no clients were harmed. Look after yourselves and each other. And if you're going to take the piss, make sure that it's not toxic.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Heads up, everyone.
This isn't actually the end. Don't get fooled by our dramatic goodbyes.
Before we truly sign off for this season, there is one more episode coming up next week, the Christmas one.
It's giving therapy meets mince pies.
I'm really looking forward to it, Rachel.
I know you are. Think cozy vibes, nostalgia, and a touch of holiday chaos with some very questionable family moments.
Yes, we saved the weirdest one for last.
See you all next week.